Welcome to Math 121. My name is Larry Bowen, and let's just jump right in. Remember, you can pause, rewind, go back at any point, and go through this video again. It's very important that you understand how this course works. I just can't overemphasize how important it is to get off to a good start in this course. I think more so than any other subject matter, math is that way. Please take it seriously and get off to a good start this semester. Here's the information you'll need. You'll find it in the syllabus, you'll find it here, you'll find it on the PowerPoint and Blackboard to contact me. The best contact outside of class is lbowen@ua.edu, which is my email address. I check email very frequently, and I expect you to do the same. That's our primary way of communicating with each other. And if you email me about something, I will get back to you relatively quickly on that, probably more quickly than you assume I will. This course assumes that you're an adult in control of your own life and that you can plan, coordinate, schedule, take responsibility, and do things in your own self-interest. There is so much assistance for this course, and it's free, and you don't need an appointment to get it. Other than being in class with me, you can get help through the Math Technology Learning Center, the MTLC, and you can check through Blackboard in case anything changes during the semester. But as of today, Monday through Friday from 1 until 5 p.m., except the days that are being tested in the MTLC, which right now are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can use these services, drop in, no appointment necessary. To get assistance, you can be in the room with other students taking the same course, helping each other, having people who know the material wandering around. You can ask them to help. There's all sorts of assistance there. Notice that goes to 5 p.m. We also coordinate with the Capstone Center for Student Success, CCSS. They do tutoring in a wide range of subject matters, but for us, Math 121 is of major interest. They do so much with mathematics courses, they actually use our facilities in the evenings. So in coordination with CCSS, from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m., Monday through Thursday, and this happens even through test week, you can come in to 2000 MSB to get assistance. MSB is the Math Science Building. That's the building where you'll be taking all your tests and which I hope you'll be using for a resource as you go through this course for assistance. That is a lot of hours where you can just wander in, do your homework in there, have specific questions you can ask. You can come in with a friend, or you can make friends in there that are taking the same course, and you can work together. It's a nice, quiet space that you can use to your benefit if you're willing to do that. I will be in there personally, my office hours in that MSB 2000. If you want to see me in particular, I will say that this course should allow time at the end of most, not all, but most of our regular class lectures for you to get out your laptop and sit and do problems after I've finished the lecture part of the class. Not every class, but most. It's the perfect time for you to get started while what I've said is still fresh in your mind, and as I'm walking around the room answering questions, you have a great shot at getting me one-on-one. What better opportunity? So at the end of most of my lectures, there will be some time left, and I would suggest bringing your laptop and staying and getting a head start on your homework and getting easy access to me. Now, I will say the Capstone Center for Student Success does tutor other things besides math, so I would go to their website. If you've got this PowerPoint up, you can click the link, but I think the web address is success.ua.edu, and look at what else they do. You may have some other courses where they can be of assistance to you. You are automatically registered into this course for the software and everything you need for this course unless you opt out. There are very few reasons why you would, but if you think you might, I would suggest that you talk to me before you do that, because most people have no reason to opt out. And that opting out has to do with having the software available. If you do opt out for some reason, that means you have to arrange to purchase the software on your own. The software is called WebAssign, and you will use that to do all your homework assignments and to take your test. So you'll spend a lot of time in WebAssign. And the way you get there, you can go into Blackboard through MyBama, or you can type in ualearn.blackboard.com and go to Blackboard straight through there. And you might want to do it that way if you want to put something in your favorites on your browser and don't want to bring up MyBama first, or maybe MyBama is down for a few minutes and you need to go straight there. But in any case, you can go to Blackboard through MyBama or through this direct link, ualearn.blackboard.com. Once you get there, you'll see your Blackboard, which has a lot of information, and you need to spend some time on that and seeing exactly what information is in Blackboard. But assuming you want to get into WebAssign, there is a link on the left panel and also in the main body in Blackboard that says Access WebAssign. If you click that link, it will take you into WebAssign where you do all your homework and you'll be taking your test. Testing has to be done in the MTLC in 2000 MSB, but your homework can be done anywhere, and although I suggest you use the services in the MTLC to work, you can actually do your homework anywhere that you have a computer and internet access. Not testing, but homework. At the end of every semester, I have students always come up to me and say, is there anything I can do for extra credit to boost my grade a little bit? And the answer is no. However, there is something you can do continuously throughout the semester that will boost your grade, and that is to keep ahead of the deadlines for your homework assignments. If you work ahead and finish any part of your homework at least 24 hours before the deadline, you'll get a 10% bonus for that part. Even if you only did 3 questions in a homework assignment 24 hours or more early, you'll get 10% bonus for those 3 questions. Of course, ideally, you want to do the entire homework set before the 24-hour deadline for bonus points expires, and you'll get 10% for the entire assignment. Now that adds up. If you go all semester and get 10% the entire semester for every homework assignment, that's like adding 2 extra points onto your final course grade, and that could be the difference between a B+ and an A-, or it could be the difference between not passing and passing. And if you're in the business school, of course, you have to have a C- or higher for the course to get credit. Don't wait until you've sunk yourself before you get help. Get it right away. It's always available. It's up to you, though, to be proactive and get that help right away, not after it's already hurt you. You can't use computer or internet issues to get any changes in your homework deadlines. You're expected to stay ahead of it enough. If you start the assignment an hour before the deadline and something happens to your computer or the internet access, you cannot say, okay, I need the extra time. You cannot get it. It will not be extended. So just be sure to get your homework assignment done in plenty of time. And as I said earlier, you really want to get the bonus points anyway, which means you want to get it done at least 24 hours early. And it's a good idea even if the bonus points weren't there. It's a good idea to log out of WebAssign when you stop working on it, and anytime you see a save button or submit button, you can use that before you log out. If you submit a homework assignment before the due date, you can still come back to it. If you missed something, you want to go back and correct it. Up until the deadline, you can keep doing that, and ideally, you will have 100% on every homework assignment, and if they're done early enough, you'll end up with 110% on every homework assignment. And that's a lot. Think about that now, because you can't go back and do it once you get into October, November, December. You've already lost those points from late August and September. You can't go back and get them. I really want you to be in class and can see that coming to class really affects grades. For instance, the average course grade for students attending class more than half the time was a B. Not bad. The average course grade for students that attended less than half the time was a failing grade. That is bad. The average attendance for those who didn't pass last semester, for instance, was 15%. So if you didn't pass, chances are you hardly attended class. There is a correlation. Take that for what it's worth. But in my opinion, you're going to do much better in this course if you put your body in here, attend the lectures, and then stay at the end and get your homework at least started. If you don't want to do that, you're an adult, that's totally up to you. But I promise you, for the vast majority of people, it can make a huge difference. The grades are very simple. 20% of your grade comes from homework, 80% from tests. If you go into WebAssign, you can see when every homework assignment is due. If you count back 24 hours and try to get it done before then, you can get the bonus 10%. If you only get half of it done, you'll still get the bonus on the half you did early. Idea is to get it all and end the semester with 110% on every one of your homeworks. That would be absolutely wonderful. You can try the question over and over again. You don't have to get it right on the first try. There's no penalty for missing something and correcting it later. There's a lot of help information. And as I page through this, I'm going to pop up some of the WebAssign screens. I'm not going to spend much time going over them because I want you to go into WebAssign and click all these links and look at it in there. But I will pop up a few pages of what WebAssign looks like just to give you a preview. But before I leave this, I want to say one more time how important that extra bonus points for doing something early can be. Think really hard before you just blow off the opportunity to get those points. I told you I'd show some examples of some of the pages within WebAssign. If this is something you'll see within WebAssign, there's like a read it button which can let you read some help information. There's a watch it, which brings up a little video that would give you a video that might help you solve a problem you're having trouble with. There's an ask your teacher link that you can click and it'll send that particular problem to me, and you can ask a question about that particular problem. Now, it's not instantaneous, but I will see it fairly quickly because I check my email very, very often. 20% homework, 80% tests. Now, there are 5 tests. The last test, you can call it the final if you want to. It's comprehensive, but it is droppable. The best 4 of your 5 tests count. So if the first 4 test scores you have are really, really good, it might be the case that your comprehensive exam at the end is your droppable, which effectively means you wouldn't have to take that during final exam week. That's a really strong incentive to do well on tests 1, 2, 3, and 4, because if you do that, test 5 disappears. Think about that as well. But if you do have one poor test grade, it can be your drop. You take test 5, comprehensive, replace that low test grade, and your grade still is okay. It still is okay. So we give you a lot of opportunities to help yourself, but you have to play it smart. You can't go back in November and fix the lack of doing things that you should have done from August, September, and October. You have to do it as the time comes for doing those kind of things. All testing will be done in the Math Science building, homework anywhere, although you can work in the Math Science building. but the testing has to be done there. We'll talk a lot more about testing later. You can read some more details, but until the tests get closer, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the mechanics of testing, other than to say test drop takes the place of makeups. If we did makeups, you wouldn't have the test drop. Have the test drop instead of makeups, and that's because the math lab puts through, 8,000 people during the semester, all these tests, giving all these makeups. It would be almost unmanageable. So instead of makeups, the MTLC does test drops. So if you have to miss test 3 for whatever reason, then that just becomes your test drop. And keep in mind, that's in place of makeups. So we're not taking anything away from you by not giving makeups. We're saying that makeups were one alternative and drops were one alternative. The MTLC chose the drop option instead of the makeup option because it makes so much more sense when you're dealing with that many students. So no makeups, a missed test is a drop. But in any case, read through this more closely. We'll talk about it in much more detail of the testing issues when we get closer to it. This is kind of just a summary. If you want to go back and look at later, it tells you that there aren't any makeups, with rare exceptions like for official university business or military things. There will be some drops. At least 3 homeworks will be dropped at the end of the semester. There'll be that one test drop that I've already mentioned. There is an option where you can give yourself up to a 14-day extension of a deadline on a homework assignment. You can give it to yourself. You won't get full credit for the problem though. I'm promoting getting bonus points, so I don't want to promote losing points by being late. But if you have to, you can go into WebAssign. There's a tab called Past Assignments. You click that, find the assignment that's past due, give yourself a 14-day extension, and at least get some points for it. I am definitely not encouraging you to do it that way, but it's there if it comes to between that and getting a 0. Very simple model of your grade: 20% homework, 80% test. In the College of Business, to get credit for that course, you have to have at least a C-, which is 70% or greater. If you don't get that, you get an NC in the course. It doesn't count against your GPA. However, you still have to take the course again if you want credit for it. Everything I've said here in this video is also available in a PowerPoint in Blackboard. It's also, a lot of the stuff is duplicated and talked about in the official syllabus, which you can get through MyBama and through Blackboard. You can always go back and look at that. And a lot of times, if you have a question about something, you can pull up the PowerPoint for this discussion here or the syllabus and find your own answer quicker than you can email me and wait for me to respond. So that syllabus and this information here is there for a reason. It's there for you to use it. And in a lot of cases, it's faster than trying to send an email and wait for a response. The calculator is very specific. The only calculator you could use in this course for tests is the Casio FX260 Solar. Now, over the years, they've changed the way it looks. There's a couple of variations in the model, but the picture of those 4 calculators are basically an idea of what those acceptable models look like. The main idea is it has to be a Casio FX260 Solar. Nothing else can be used on the test. As a matter of fact, if you are caught taking the test with the wrong calculator, you can be charged with academic misconduct, and it can cost you, at the very least, it might cost you getting a 0 on that exam. You don't want that to happen, so get the right calculator and practice with the calculator so that when you actually bring it into the test, you know how to use that calculator. This is the only one allowed. It's about $10, I think. You can get it in the superstore, probably get it online, Walmart, pharmacies, CVS, and Walgreens probably has it. Get that calculator, get it now, and start using it because it's the only one you can use on the test. Told you I was going to show you some screen captures. This is one of the screens from WebAssign. It's got some links for home, for my assignments, grades, communication, calendar. Go into WebAssign yourself and click around and check out all those links. For example, if you click into my assignments, you might get something that looks sort of like that. This is actually for a trig course, but it doesn't matter. Your assignments are listed, the due dates are listed. You can kind of see all that. Again, I don't want to go over this in detail. I just want you to go into WebAssign and click around and look at all this stuff yourself. If you click into grades, you'll see something like that. You can see your overall grade and how it's broken down between homework and tests. And one thing I will say is that there's something about the way they do this that is not ideal in my opinion, and that is they only update this information once a day. So you might do something and it might not show up until later on in the day in your grade book. But even more significantly in my mind, if you're working a little bit ahead, it will never incorporate a grade into the grade book until the deadline. So if you do an assignment, say 2 days before it was due, or even a day before it's due, you will not see that result. You will not see that in your grade book under grades until that assignment is actually due. Don't know why they do it that way, and it's not ideal, but just keep that in mind. So if you're working a little bit ahead, as I've suggested that it would be wise for you to do, you will not see that on this page. You will not see the result of that on this page until after that assignment is actually due. A little bit aggravating, but once you know that's the way it works, there's no big deal about it. Here's what you see kind of when you hit the calendar button. It lays out your homework assignments on a calendar. Go into WebAssign, look at this yourself. This View My Class Insights is a neat feature of WebAssign. It keeps up with what you do and sort of tries to look at the things you seem to have struggled on, and you can go in there and it will try to push you toward things that you might be having more trouble with and let you know, hey, you might want to look a little more closely at this topic because you've been having trouble with it. You can also look at the actual textbook through WebAssign. Nice feature. I think by now you've gotten the idea that everything that's up here now is something that's designed to help you do well in this class. In other words, you need to actually try to learn something. Don't just go through the motions. As you're doing things, you're trying to understand, because making a good grade on a homework that you only got a good grade on because you did it 7 times is not a good way to do well on the test, because if you had to do something 7 times on the homework to get it right, but you never really understood it, what are the odds that you're going to all of a sudden get it right on the test, which you can't do over and over again? So you're trying not only to get a good grade on the homework, that's important, you're also trying to get the understanding that's going to allow you to transfer what you learned on the homework to the test, which is worth even more than the homework. Anyway, read through that and you'll see it's all common sense, and there are so many resources for your assistance that it's actually probably hard to use it all. But it's on you to take the initiative, to ask for help, set yourself up for success. If you're registered with Disability Services, I will get an email, and the MTLC will get an email from them, and we'll take it from there and do what we normally do. If you're intending to register with Disability Service but haven't, it is not an automatic quick turnaround. So if you haven't and want to, you need to do this right away. Contact Office of Disability Services. The MTLC really doesn't do anything as far as advising students on how to contact them, other than how to contact them, because we're not experts. So you need to talk with them, and then once the Office of Disability Services sends an email to us, then our involvement begins. Again, it's your initiative to get that started, and if you've already done it, at some point soon, I should be getting, and the MTLC should be getting, an email from the Office of Disability Services. This course allows you to learn a lot, and it allows you a lot of room to let you skate and get yourself in trouble. The onus is on you not to do that latter. You need to stay on task, plan, organize, and you're going to find out after a while just being organized and getting things done on schedule is going to start adding points to your course grade. So you know what you need to do. I will say one more thing. Don't use these math websites and apps to do your homework, because that is academic misconduct. But even if it weren't, it's not helping you to learn the material, and you certainly can't use those apps or sites during the test, because that will be caught and written up as academic misconduct. These websites, apps that are designed to give answers to math problems, it's a dead end. Don't do that. Not even on the homework. In the long run, you're hurting yourself, not helping yourself.